This man carefully scrapes mold off stale crackers, then tops them with a small dollop of luxury caviar before eagerly stuffing them into his mouth. But after days of starvation, this tiny amount hardly helps. He reaches into the fish tank and scoops out an expensive tropical fish. Making what looks like fancy fish sashimi balls, he anxiously picks one up and puts it in his mouth. The overwhelming fishy smell hits him as soon as he bites down, making him nauseous and nearly spitting out the crackers he just ate. He hurriedly pours pickle juice from a jar into a wine glass and gulps it down to barely keep from throwing up. After swallowing this barely edible food, he lets out a deep sigh. Trapped in this strange mansion, if he can't escape soon, he'll eventually starve to death. But his predicament goes far beyond that. While stealing, he damaged the mansion's central control panel. The air conditioning temperature has skyrocketed, making the house as stuffy as a steamer. Even worse, the water has been shut off since the moment he triggered the alarm. His throat painfully dry from thirst, he cups pool water trying to quench his thirst, but he spits it out immediately after it touches his lips. The water contains disinfectants and antioxidants, making it completely undrinkable. With no other option, he takes off his t-shirt, soaks it and wipes his body to cool down and avoid heat stroke. But even this cooling method isn't enough to save him. If he can't find an exit soon, the lack of water and food will eventually cause his body to give out. To escape, the man focuses his attention on the chandelier hanging from the ceiling, thinking there might be ventilation ducts hidden above it that could offer him a chance at survival. The ceiling is too high, so he starts moving all the portable furniture piece by piece into the living room. Then he cuts strips of fabric from the chairs to make ropes and securely fastens the furniture together. Hours later, the man finally builds a tall tower and after checking it repeatedly, carefully climbs to the top. Before reaching the summit, he gently shakes the highest cabinet to ensure there's no danger. However, once standing at the top and reaching for the chandelier, he realizes he's still about 2 meters short. Escaping through the ventilation system seems almost impossible in the short term, although his escape plan is temporarily shelved. A glimmer of hope finally appears in the man's life. Using a metal statue, he successfully pries open the door to the pantry. Seeing the food before him, he can hardly believe his eyes. Noodles, dry goods, and even a perfectly refrigerated steak. Just as he's basking in this brief moment of satisfaction, he suddenly hears water flowing from the mansion's plant area. The dried-up automatic sprinklers have somehow resumed working. Without hesitation, the man drops to the ground and greedily sucks up the water. Despite its strange taste, it feels like the fountain of life to his body, parched for an entire day. After eating and drinking his fill, the man continues preparing for his escape. He tears down silk curtains and takes apart the large bed, spending an entire day and night moving all the furniture together. He ties everything with curtains, building a 20-foot tower, finally able to reach the ventilation duct in the ceiling. However, the plan doesn't go as he hoped. When he taps on the vent with his knife, he discovers it's sealed with thick bulletproof glass. Breaking through would be harder than cracking a safe with bare hands. By now the air conditioning temperature has risen to 104 degrees. The man takes off his clothes but still feels unbearable heat. He sits helplessly on the stairs, sinking into deep despair.